is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own review of Married to Medicine. It is the season finale. And we're ending off the season with Eugene and Toya's 16th wedding anniversary. They're having a Bridgerton theme. And the Bridgerton narration was everything towards the end of the episode. And it pretty much spoke on what transpired this season. So, majority of the episode is pretty much just leading up to the anniversary party. Not a lot of people had a lot going on, just them getting ready. So we see Toya. She is having her party planner come over to help discuss the plans for her party. And she's saying that me and Eugene have beat the odds of being married for 16 years. And what she wants is to be a night of romance. Let it be a over-the-top date night. And whenever she turns on her TV, she sees Bridgerton, the Gilded Age, Queen Charlotte, all of that love and romance, that Victorian era that was just full of whimsical, magical moments. And the budget for this event is $25K. But she wants to modernize everything. She wants to have a full feast table with a roasted pig with an apple in his mouth. She mentioned lobster cheese biscuits. I don't think they had that there. A champagne toast. And 3 words to describe a Toya party: drunk, entertainment, and everybody looking fly. Period. As far as for the guest list, Toya wants to invite everybody because she wants it to be a place where everybody can move forward. But when it comes to who did get an invitation, she has not gotten an RSVP from Greg and Tisha. And she said, I'm not sure if they're going to come, but the people who did RSVP will be there, and that is Quad and King. And if this is one of those times where you don't want to come, you don't have to come. But will there be security? Yes, there will be. We got Sweetie and Greg. They're spending time together. I don't know why Greg is saying that we haven't had enough time to spend together. That's all we've seen this past season is y'all spending time together. Y'all have not been around a lot of people since Key West. She's asking him about wondering if they should go to Toya's party or not, because she did have a conversation with Toya, and she felt like Toya was telling her, I don't want to be in a space where I got to choose. Then she said, I don't know where I stand with the group right now, but I don't want to have to beg to be part of a group. If y'all don't want me, you guys don't want me. Well, sweetie, I feel like you want people to beg you to be a part of the group, just like Mimi and Toya and Contessa was trying to do, but you want everybody to be on board, would convince you to stay a part of the group. But if you're already seeing the setup that everybody else is not on that same energy, not on that same page of convince you to stay, like they're trying to do the phaser, which is pissing me off, then you might as well look for whatever it is as a reality, okay? You have to ask yourself, do you want to be a part of this group? Do you see yourself building a friendship with these people? Because I feel like you've seen the truth in how they really valued you being a part of this show. I do think that Contessa and Toya, a little bit of Mimi, has wanted to create a friendship with you. But throughout what took place on the show, it's been kind of hard for you to navigate who should you trust, who should you not trust. Just like what Contessa said in the last episode. But I do think you want to still be a part of the show, which means you're going to have to form some type of cordialness with these ladies, not trust them, and also pick your battles on who you really want to build on the friendship and just be like a high and by with them. And that's a question that I have for you, sweetie. Why would you want to be involved in a group where half the cast don't respect you? And by half, I mean Jackie, Heavenly, and Simone. When they were the ones who brought you in the group, they were the ones who infiltrated you in with everybody, just to stick it to Quad. And now Quad has come back. They're in a good place with Quad. They're ready to drop you off on the wayside, act like they don't know you, treat you like a stranger. You really think it's worth it being involved on this show, being involved with cast members like this? Because let's keep it a buck. What value does Jackie and Simone and Heavenly bring? Jackie don't talk about nothing going on in her life. The only thing she operates on is how to be a good doctor. Simone just showed us how she felt as a parent, teaching her sons how to take care of themselves. And Heavenly, she likes to hide what she has going on with Damon and get involved in messy situations. Let the people want to reveal their deep, dark secrets, cause controversy, make up lies and stories and shit like that with her YouTube. But what are we about to do with that? Drama sells, okay? But is it worth this type of drama that can impact your marriage? So she also said that they are trying to ice her out because they're in a good place with Quad, and she doesn't like that they're blaming her for the actions of Greg. Well, sweetie, I did feel like you were in a bad place because of the actions that Greg decided to take. You haven't given your separate stance on that. I think you wanted to give your separate stance on that, but he made you feel like it was done for you to do it. So you pretty much say it's what my husband wants. It's my marriage versus everybody else. And it's because of his actions, you are at fault as well. But is it worth it to still want to fight it? Is it worth it to still want to be a part of it? Because you say you don't want to beg. And Greg wants to be begged to be back into the group. He is upset that the men are holding him accountable of the part that he played in regards to how the group is divided. And he said he doesn't feel good about leaving, but he doesn't feel good about staying. And maybe I should just back up a little bit because I've had conversations with the other men about how we can move forward. If you have owned your part like we've seen King do, then we wouldn't be here, Greg. That's how it all started. I'm sorry. I do put blame on Quad for saying what she said the night before, but you added to it when she said she talked too fucking much. And when you got confronted by King, you carried that same energy. You went as far as going the extra mile of filing charges. I'm sorry. That is the repercussions of when you thinking that someone's going to play with you and they're not playing with you. Now, Greg said they put effort into being around everybody. I don't think y'all did. I understand you guys don't always want to be met with conversations about how to move forward, but y'all been on the island by yourselves ever since Key West. And it's been kind of difficult to get an understanding from y'all because Greg don't want to own his part about how the cast is divided. He doesn't want to own his part about how we're in this tough space. That's where it all boils down to. Moving on from there, we're continuing on with Toya checking out her party. Everything's coming together. She envisioned everything right into the T. They're going to have horse and carriages. The lady's going to learn to waltz. It's going to be an amazing night. Toya continues to get ready. Eugene comes in with his suit and she wants to make sure he doesn't put a lot of pressure on his toe because his toe practically broke because he wanted to help the tow truck man put the golf cart on to put gas in it and it dropped on his foot. And I love when Toya put on her Marie Antoinette wig because he felt like she was born in that era. Eugene said that there was no African Americans in royalty. He said it's all made up. It's a fantasy. I beg to differ, Eugene. There were black nobles of that Victorian era. There were dukes and duchesses. Like, wasn't Queen Charlotte goddaughter mixed race? Have y'all not seen the movie Belle? I think the movie Belle was based on a true story. If we had black samurais in the Japan era, I'm pretty sure we had black nobles in the Victorian era, and we weren't just maids and servants. Nah, I don't believe it. For Eugene to think that Toy didn't pay attention in history class when she was in school, no, Eugene, we're not doing that. I refuse. And I'm a history buff myself because the guest list and how Eugene feels a way about how Greg and Letitia might not be coming. And Toya said, I spoke to her on FaceTime that she is welcomed. And Sweet Tea says she's going to check in with hubby, see what hubby thinks. And if hubby has something else different to say, she's going to go where hubby feels. Toya understands that. And uh and when it comes to just being prepared if they was to come, Toya has decided to divide the times when Sweet Tea and Greg will come and before Quad and King come. So Sweet Tea and Greg will be included into the cocktail hour, which is from 8 to 9, no later than 9:01, because that's when Quad and King is coming in. So that way you guys won't ever be mixed in with seeing one another, bumping into one another. They will be gone by the time Quad and King gets here. I like the way that Toya planned it because she wanted them still be included and it was to still showcase that I want everyone to come, but I'm not going to force y'all to make amends. I just want y'all to be there. That's all I want y'all to do. Because if you want to still take time to assess, take time to assess. Moving on. Quad and King was getting ready, and of course, it's been a minute since they were around everybody since Key West and since the assault. Ever since the assault that Greg decided to file charges on, and it didn't have to go there because you can't engage into a fight with someone and then go cry wolf and run into the police. Now, because a man who had his ego bruised because you checked him about apologizing to a woman he will not apologize to unless he gets the same apology. And this could have been a typical conversation with they could have had amongst men. It didn't have to go this way. I appreciate King for taking accountability because he also pointed out that they both took a part in it. It wasn't just him, Greg did it too. But Greg wants to continue to play victim as if he wasn't the one who put himself in a compromising position. Quad also talks about Toya telling her the time frame of when they can arrive and how they won't be in the same room with Sweetie and Greg. And they appreciate giving them a heads up of the time slot. And he feels like it sucks for Eugene and Toya to even be put in this situation because it's about them. And the way they were trying to make everybody feel comfortable, it is very nice. It's a very great gesture for them to do. And I do appreciate Quad and Toya for having that conversation just to let them know you're not going to be set up. You're not going to have an ambush coming your way about meeting them when you know you don't want to be around them. Okay. Eugene and Toya have really been on the middle ground with everything. So Toy and Eugene were the first to walk into her event. It does look amazing. All of the ladies come. I think all of the ladies pretty met the assignment except for Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone's dress definitely was giving quinceañera. It was gorgeous. It was bright. I loved it. It was just quinceañera tease. Um, and everybody was wondering where is Sweetie and Greg? Wondering are they coming? When Sweetie and Greg came, Greg came in looking like the little page boy with his George Washington wig, and they're only here for the hour, right? And that's a lot to want to get all dressed up and only be there for an hour and you got to leave. Hey, that's what you signed up for. Mimi, I didn't understand what you meant by saying, oh my God, here come Miss Two Step, here come Miss Mess, Mess, Mess. I don't know what she meant by that. And it was very shocking to me on how quickly she just switched up on Sweet Tea when Sweet Tea brought her around and she's already having some crazy movements later down the line. But the way you want to say Miss Mess, what mean Miss Mess? This was a conversation that was happening. This was an agreed upon situation. So what you mean, Miss Mess? Mimi, you definitely flipped. You did exactly what a lot of new girls do when they're coming into the group. They want to follow on the bandwagon with the OGs because of one person who has not been met with proper understanding, did not get met with a proper welcoming, and you're not understanding why it's like that, but you want to be in with the in crowd, so you want to follow what they do. Maybe that's not gonna work for you in the long run. If you stay for the next season, they're gonna dig inside your situation with Steve. I guarantee you they will. Sweet Tea says she still has reservations about being a part of the group. She says she still has some strong relationship with some of the ladies who, I mean, besides Contessa, maybe a little bit of Toya, but with Mimi, the way you said you and Mimi aren't really friends like that, so I don't think she's a part of the list. But um Toya and Eugene definitely feel supported that Greg and T decided to come on their anniversary. And T said while she is trying to move forward, she wants to spill a little tea. So we got the lady rumor mill coming in. Everybody gets a little pamphlet on what is the gossip on what's going on in the ladies of Georgetown. And I think that T was involved in creating this little pamphlet. First, it was to talk about how Heavenly is always spreading whispers about everybody else's marital issues, but she's quiet about her own. It's the truth. Then it's discussing how Curtis is a bit handsy. You know, it was a photo of he was taking a photo with Heavenly and Jackie, and his hand was on Heavenly's waist. Now we all know a few seasons ago he pulled Toya on his lap, and everybody was weirded out by that. But Jack ain't gonna do nothing about it. The way that they laughed in the confessional and said it was AI, I said, okay, Jackie. So whatever Curtis does, which is a problem, you just not gonna do nothing about it. Okay, fine. Um, Lady Truella, which is Sweet Tea, talks about how she has been outspoken and she's been navigating throughout her new circle of friends, but she has a target on her back and she doesn't know where things are going to end up. And that was the end of that. Simone felt like Sweet Tea didn't take herself, Sweet Tea did not hold herself accountable on what she has done in the group as well. And I'm tired of Simone trying to point how everybody needs to be held accountable when she's not doing it. But they all ripped the pamphlet. They didn't find it funny. They didn't find it like it was a big monumental thing. I mean, the truth was the truth, okay? The truth about Heavenly, yes. The truth about Curtis, yes. Her having a target on her back, yes. Was it based on her doing a little bit, but based on everybody else already using her as a pawn? But moving on from there. So the fellas are discussing with Greg about what took place a couple of weeks ago, how they want him to move forward. And he said he listened to Sweet Tea to get her side of things, and he understands he needs to hold some form of accountability and how things are taking place, but he wants to hold on to his feelings. Okay, hold on to your feelings, Greg. But you can't hold on to your feelings to disguise the fact that the way you went about it was a bit too much. And he wants the group to handle the conversation of fixing things between him and King. Okay. So Cecil says all we needed was a bit of time for everybody to breathe. And I think Greg understands what led to his part and how he needs to be held accountable for it. Now, Contessa, you made me mad here when you wanted to convince Sweetie to stay. You should stay. Don't you think she should stay? Do you want to stay? I mean, I want to stay. I'm like, Contessa, don't do that. This is not your event. You didn't convince Quad to stay when you told her about Sweetie and Greg coming to your event. You wanted to let her know so she could be ready to go. Well, you understood that. So why are you trying to force them to be in a space that they are not ready to be involved in? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That wasn't cool, Contessa. This was how Sweetie and Greg wanted it. This is how they're going to get it. Toya had already set this up for them to only be there for the hour to make room for Quad and King to come. Their time is up. They got to go. Now, Toya told Sweet Tea and Greg that y'all created this mess. And it's like, what you mean they created this mess? I mean, you guys pretty much made it difficult for everybody to move forward because Greg wanted to go to the extra mile and file charges and still don't want to hold himself accountable what took place, still don't want to admit what he did wrong. All he wants is an apology, which he's not going to get. Again, it's not just him too. Quad and King need to be held accountable as well, but we've heard King take accountability. We have not heard Quad, but we only heard King. So Contessa is like, why can't we just let them stay? Why can't we just try it? It's not fair. You know what? It is what it is, Contessa. But don't use Toya's event for it to be that type of environment. Don't use Toya's event for it to be that type of chance. They already knew what the circumstances was when they received the invitation. Okay? So Greg says, we appreciate the invitation. We honor your decision of telling us to leave at this time, and we will move forward. You will see us again. Thank you. I feel like Toya did the big one to inviting them. Y'all showed up. It wasn't an issue. If it was an issue that you only wanted to stay for the hour, you wouldn't have came, but y'all did. So now y'all gotta go. And Toya understands that she might want to stay, but we have no control of at this point. And I'm not gonna use my event, my anniversary, to let this be that type of environment. I will not. We got to keep the same energy going. So when T and Greg left, there was a montage of how they got onto the show, the bachelorette party, the wedding, and everything in between. So now they are wondering maybe it's not a bad idea if they was to take some time out of the group and come back when it's necessary, come back when it makes sense. And she wants to have a baby. You know what? The way you guys are holding each other down in this manner, y'all might be able to figure it out. And if you want to have a baby, sweetie, take all the time you need. I ain't got nothing against it. And if y'all want to take a break, y'all can take a break. It wouldn't be an issue. But make sure it's what you want to do. So Heavenly and Quad come in. Heavenly definitely was giving me young version of Queen Charlotte. That Afro wig and crown was everything. Damon did not care. Did y'all see the way that Damon did not try to fit the theme? He didn't try to find a costume. Damon don't go nowhere. He don't know what to do when he be out with Heavenly. So when the MC are announcing all of the dukes and duchess, ladies and lords and viscounts and viscountess, they all came down. The funniest one was Heavenly and Damon. Heavenly getting her dress caught. Damon don't know what to do with it. It was hilarious. So Quad and King came. Eugene and Toya was so excited to see them. Toya told King, we miss you. We miss you having you around. We want you to still come around. And King feels the support from the group. He feels the sincerity and he wants to continue receiving it. Uh oh Lord. Contessa and Simone, they go off and they talk about Phaedra again. And I'm like, can y'all stop it? Stop begging. Why would y'all be begging for this woman to come? Because then it took us to a flashback. maybe like 3 days up to the event. They want to have another conversation with Phaedra, convincing her she should come, but she don't want to come. She don't want to deal with you type of bitches, like she said it herself. She don't want to deal with the devil's daughter, like she said about Heavenly. But it's so funny that y'all begging Phaedra to come as if y'all wanted her to be there, but y'all didn't care enough to do the same to Sweet Tea. Who the fuck is Phaedra? To my opinion, I think Phaedra should have at least lasted a couple of more episodes. The way that she just dropped everything about Married to Medicine right after the Key West incident, she was looking for an opportunity to leave anyway. And the fact that she's only going to be at the ending of RHOA, she finds that more important. She finds that more of her speed than everything. But I'm done. Can y'all leave Phaedra alone? I don't care if she wasn't coming. I don't care if she led. Leave Phaedra alone, okay? Stop it. Anyway, so Duke Eugene, he takes the mic and talks about how it will be 16 years. They will be married the next day, but they met 18 years ago that day. He was in medical school in Atlanta. He was on his last year residency. This was in 2006. And he wanted to talk about dating while being a doctor, wanted to know how it would feel to sow them wild oats. But he was at a restaurant in Michigan and he met Toya and he knew that she was the one. Oh my God, when they flash back to all those pictures of Eugene and Toya, Toya looks exactly the same as she did. Toya has not changed at all. And Toya talks about how Eugene has always made her feel beautiful, has always made her feel respected. He listens to her and she loves him. Oh, it was just gorgeous. I loved it. Curtis mentions to King that Greg is willing to have a conversation with him and how they're willing to allow the group to mend fences, and King is willing to have that conversation. Simone opened the conversation to talk about how Greg said he was embarrassed and he wants to move forward. Is there a way for y'all to coexist? Quad says she's not interested. Toya knows she's not interested. But if your man was okay with it, would you be okay with it? Because we are supposed to be in the space of forgiveness. She said, I can forgive you in my heart, but I'm not going to continue to be in an uncomfortable environment. Toya said, I feel like you're making us choose. She said, I'm not asking you to choose. I am asking you to put myself in my shoes. And we had that conversation back in Key West with Quad asking y'all, how would you feel if any of your man's exes was around the group? Jackie definitely would not like it if the woman that Curtis was cheating on her with was around the ladies. Simone definitely wouldn't like it if Cecil's lady friend Tammy was around the group. Heavenly definitely wouldn't like it if any of the alleged women he might be cheating on her with or has cheated on her with was introduced into the group. Hell no. Nah. She'll spaz out and go crazy. But I think that's where the lack of understanding comes from. How can y'all advocate for Quad to be back into the group, but still tell her to deal with what comes with it? And I don't think that's fair. But along with that, it's like, Quad, what did you expect? Because you let them with no certainty of wondering how they will move forward in a friendship with you. So yes, they hit it where it hurts. They hung out with Greg. They brought Sweet Tea into the fold. And now they've gotten you where they wanted you to be. Now they want to show up. And now they want to treat you better at a time where they felt like you didn't treat them better. And now they're going to drop Sweet Tea off, which is not fair. This is not how you work in friendships. Whenever you don't get anything out of one person, you don't go and bring somebody else up that you've known that's had an issue with them, you've known that they've had problems with, just to throw it in their faces. It doesn't work. And Toya talks about, we've been here before. We've lost too many people in this group, and I do not want to do that again. And she said, okay, well, then lose me. See, when you get that type of ultimatum, though, Quad, it's the reason why they've been trying so hard to get back into a good place with you. And now that you're putting in the same effort as they're doing it, I don't want to have to hear you go through the same song and dance again about how you have not received a real sisterhood. And when she talks about losing too many people, she could be talking about Mariah. She could be talking about Lisa Nicole. She could be talking about Buffy. Y'all have had quite a number of women on this cast that y'all have turned against one another and iced them out and made them feel uncomfortable, made them feel unwanted. And Toya said that everybody in this group has made mistakes, including King. I mean, she said that in Key West. So when asked what has King done, Simone want to jump in and said he took the bait, meaning that he was provoked by Greg, and that's why it ended the way that it ended. No, Simone, no. King came in trying to fix something, trying to address something, but it was at the wrong time. Greg caught that energy, and they both were going back and forth with one another. So Quad can miss me with trying to look lost and confused about what you mean, what has he done? Come on now. So in the midst of them talking, we see Heavenly doing the most, getting loud by saying, "You're a bitch if you allow for someone to disrespect your husband and don't say anything." Well, it takes one to know one, Heavenly, because I want to see the day that anybody gets out of line with you and Damon comes to your rescue, because I don't see it. I see Damon trying to reel you in to not saying disrespect with anybody else. So you can miss me with that. Quad said, "I'm not gonna monitor what I'm gonna say when he's around. I don't care if that's my ex, that's my past." Quad, I'm not gonna tell you what you should and you shouldn't say around your ex, because that is your ex. You do what you want to do. But if you don't want to go back into that realm of seeing all the pain and misery you dealt with, I wouldn't say shit to him. I would ignore him. I would look at him as if he is a speck of fucking dust, not give him no energy. So with being all about your future, then let it be about your future. Do not care what he's doing. Do not care what he's saying. Let that shit roll off your shoulders. Like what you say about him, roll off his shoulders. Toya said today she might not want him around, but tomorrow, oh, she gonna fight like hell to make sure he does not have a hand in on keeping her away from the group. Cause Quad still wants to be involved with these ladies. She still wants to be a part of everything. So they still end up having a good time. They do the waltz. It was funny. And Toya pretty much ends everything by saying, "We are a group of people who love one another. But if you feel like you need to take some time away, we can understand that. If you want to come back, we'll accept you. If you want to leave, you can leave. But don't worry about it. We will be here." And that's pretty much the end of the season. It was a good episode, I will say. I do think that the entire season was a good season. I am very much excited about the 3-part reunion because we're going to get some mess here, especially with Simone and Quad. Like, what the hell is that? Simone, when will you let it go about the sister circle? I understand about how she gave y'all her ass to kiss, but when will you let it go? And you pretty much just admitted that it was a part of your plan to throw it in her face about hanging out with Greg again and hanging out with his wife and pretty much just making Quad feel like she never mattered, like how she's made y'all feel. But that's going to be a mess, y'all. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.